Good day, my friends. Froggy here, and welcome to the 33rd annual Port Alberni Toy Run, Vancouver Island. It is one of the biggest two-day toy run events in BC, and will be my fourth consecutive. This year, I'm excited in taking a few of my friends from the Canadian Lone Wolves mainland for their first time. Also excited in meeting some of the lone wolves from the island I've never met. First thing we have to do is get there. Getting there is hopping aboard BC ferries. My partner Chris and I do a 4-dayer Friday to Monday. Trucker Chris and Jonathan got Friday off, hooking up at the Horseshoe Bay Terminal in the morning. Perry and Jane would come after work, meeting us at Qualicum Bay Resort. An hour and 40 minutes later, the ferry docks at Departure Bay, Nanaimo. This route is actually the continuation of Trans-Canada Highway 1 heading south. As we split north to Highway 19, an elderly couple starts creeping into our lane. I do believe I was in his blind spot at that moment, but no harm, no foul. Just over a kilometer uphill, a planned stop at Tim Hortons. This is where we hook up with Chris's Uncle Moose from Port Alberni and a few other island wolves. After a short meet and greet, we split ways till tomorrow's toy run. Chris will visit and stay in Port Alberni with his uncle and friends. Partner Chris, Jonathan, and I will head up the old Highland Highway 19A to Qualicum Bay, but not without stopping in Parksville for lunch. The Run Gun Hotel is one of Parksville's oldest establishments still in operation on Vancouver Island. It's been here since 1898. It's had a few facelifts in its day, along with their newly renovated grill. This is the main hookup spot for our friends coming from the mainland or island in different directions. I love bringing riding friends here for the first time at the Run Gun, like Jonathan. The food and service is absolutely great. After lunch, we continue up the old Highland Highway. I always cruise this scenic route over the fast-paced Highway 19. Jonathan hasn't been here before, and as we pass through Qualicum Beach, I thought I'd stop at the beach hut for a look-see, maybe grab an ice cream, which I did. From here, looking across the Georgia Strait, you view Lasqueti and Texada Islands and the backdrop of the mainland Sunshine Coast around the Seashell and Half Moon Bay area, about 35 kilometers across as the crow flies. Just 15 minutes up the road is Qualicum Bay Resort, dropping Chris off and unloading the bike bags at the cabin. Jonathan and I rode up 6 kilometers to the Georgia Park store in Bowser for some weekend supplies. You have room? You got room?
Oh yeah. That was fun blowing up the air mattress.
With what? With your lips?
Yep. That's it. I put the 12
You get it? Yeah. You should have asked me. I would have brought one. Qualicum Bay is a great place to stay, central to lots of day ride destinations and unique amenities in close proximity. The Crown and Anchor Pub, West Coast Food House, the Sandbar Cafe, to name a few. The resort itself have great accommodation options to suit any needs. Camping, camp-in cabins, suites, and cottages. John chose to tent. Perry and Jane got a camp-in cabin. Chris and I always get a cottage overlooking the strait and a place for all to mingle. My daughter from Campbell River was supposed to join in this weekend, but a family matter arose and unfortunately couldn't make it this year. We're gonna go for a ride to Comox. Yeah, just get gas. He wants to go for a ride. You want to go?
No.
something on the way back?
Yeah. You got me some more of these.
You want more of those?
Sure.
For more beer. It is nice having that pre and post day to do whatever, like John and I riding up to Courtney and Comox, a nice 100K tour there and back. Passing by bays as Union, Buckley, and my favorite Fanny. You may have heard of Fanny Bay oysters. They farm them all along here. The Fanny Bay Inn also puts on a rendezvous breakfast for the Port Alberni Toy Run for them traveling down from up island. All proceeds go to the toy run. Perry and Jane arrived in the dark. We shared some beers and snacks before heading in for the night. Morning came, we gathered up around 9 a.m. to head for breakfast. I wanted to take them to the Sandbar Cafe just up the road, and that we did. The toy run registration is from 10 to noon at Little Qualcombe Falls. Taking the long way there on 19A, then Highway 4, is only a 30-minute ride. We have lots of time to enjoy. The Sandbar Cafe is an awesome place. It is actually called the Sandbar Cafe and Art Gallery for good reason. The local art is for sale and hung all over the walls. The art makes a great ambience for the cafe. They have a unique, extensive menu with good service and something for all. From breakfast to dinner, they are open daily, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and offer live evening music. Trust me when I say try them. It was time to get the show on the road, as they say. It would be an awesome day and perfect timing passing by Qualcombe Beach at low tide. We make one more stop at the Shell station, making sure all is topped up. This is the corner of 19A and Highway 4, heading in towards Port Alberni. It's going to be a good show up tonight. It's going to be a good show.
Oh, shit, eh?
It's the one you've never been on.
Huh?
You've never experienced anything like this one.
No, this is
Just
real.
wait. This is going to be a great gathering, a gathering I haven't seen in 4 years due to weather. It was cool to see Mary and Wendy here again. They stayed at the resort with us last year as we rode the toy run together. It was time to register in, do a walkabout, and take pictures. As usual, Tim Hortons donated coffee, donuts, and muffins for all. It was great hooking up, chatting, and sharing stories with my brothers and sisters from the island's lone wolves never met. Coming a bit early is always an opportunity to meet and mingle with new and friends from past. It's getting close to start time. I head up to see how many have showed up so far. Last I heard, there was about 1,400 registered. When we got there, Perry and Jane were 430 and 432. There would be another 400 plus registering at Glenwood Center, where the run ends and the festivities begin. Moving out of the parking lot is like being a piece of sand in an hourglass. The rumble is absolutely amazing. By the time we got to the top where the lead bike started, there were bikes lined up all along the side for what seemed to be a good half a mile. This is a similar scenario as the 29th annual. The weather was even hotter that day as I remember. As we head out, we bypass Cameron Lake, through McMillan Provincial Park and Cathedral Grove, then into Port Alberni. The whole run takes a good hour and a half to complete. Along the route, there are thousands of people lined up cheering, waving, holding signs supporting the bikers. It's a feeling that can't be told, one must experience, as you will see. Port Alberni is a fairly large city with a population of over 18,000. It lies in the Alberni Valley at the headwater of Alberni Inlet. The inlet is the largest, deepest, and longest inlet on the island and can allow freighters to access its port. The Port Alberni Toy Run is also the largest on the island, and I will say probably the largest in BC. This is the 33rd, so it started in 1985. Since then, it has raised over $2 million net for children's charities, not including the thousands of toys. The second day of the toy run is the polka run. Not all can attend, but I do make sure I personally do, rain or shine. Another awesome ride and opportunity to see other sights Port Alberni has to offer, over and above giving. We turned off 3rd Avenue onto Argyle Street, the main drag heading towards the Harbor Quay. At the bottom, we U-turned. After crossing the rail tracks heading uphill, it's throttles on. Another exciting moment one should not miss. From the quay, the Glenwood Sports Center is about 4 kilometers. Turning on 10th Avenue, we pass through Sierra Heights. Still hundreds of people cheering and waving as bikers pass by. At one time, we used to throw candy out for the kids. One day, a little girl ran out into the procession to grab one and was struck. No one was seriously hurt, but was a sign. Since then, there is a no candy rule. The last couple of years since customizing my bike, I go into the show and shine as metric. I've never won anything in my life, and today will be no different. It's fun all the same getting involved, and there are some awesome bikes that show. The Glenwood's main hall is where the toy drop-off is. Activities for kids, tables for shirts, pins, along with registration and general info. They had the same kids band that played last year. It was awesome to hear them again. There is tons going on outside. Beer garden, vendors for food, trinkets, leathers, and whatever may suit your fancy for biker paraphernalia. Lots of bike games like the Slow Ride, Walk the Plank, the famous Wiener Bite, along with Find the Potato in the Hay for the kids. The whole show is commentated live, giving prizes for games and thanks to the people, companies that donate time, efforts, and product for the cause. My pictures and vids don't do much justice. One must be there to appreciate. They have a live band and dance in the evening as well. We didn't attend, more so because of travel. Before leaving, I did a walkabout taking pics of bikes parked in the Glenwood lot. Just amazing to see this many bikes attending this year's toy run. It was time to leave. Chris and some of the other wolves went for lunch in town about an hour earlier. They decided to take Perry, Jane, and John on a little sightseeing tour. We texted back and said we would meet them in Coombs, a stop we planned and a town I always like to visit. Approaching Junction 4A into Coombs is just 2 kilometers off Highway 4. Coombs is a small community well known for its old country market with goats on the roof, Butterfly World, and the Bluegrass Festival every BC Day weekend. There is tons more, but today my partner Chris and I will walk about the Coombs Emporium just beside the old country market. All the times I've been here, I've never been inside the Emporium. The ice cream sign lured me in, and I wanted one. It is absolutely amazing to see all the unique art, carvings, t-shirts, jewelry, and stuff for sale. Most of the shops around are similar in their own special way. The goats finally made it around this side of the roof. Timing was perfect for a couple of pics. Perry, Jane, and Jonathan arrived. The tour Chris took them on was a little longer than expected, but most important, they had a good time, good ride. The day was getting on. We all decided to head back. Ride up to Bowser, grab supplies, then to the resort. At the resort, we put stuff away. It was time to relax. Mother Nature's forecast seemed to be turning tide, and not for the better for tomorrow's poker run. We would mingle in the park till dark, telling stories and the day's adventure. It was an awesome day with awesome friends. With weather turning, we will decide in the morning the direction all will ride, poker run or home.
Beer? What type of beer?
Thanks for watching the Port Alberni 2017 Toy Run. Be safe, ride safe, home safe.